No Kings protests draw huge crowds as anti-Trump rallies sweep across US. Huge crowds have gathered to protest against President Donald Trump's policies in cities across the US, among them New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Miami, and Los Angeles. The rally in New York City's iconic Times Square drew thousands of people not long after it began on Saturday morning. The streets and subway entrances were densely packed, with people holding up signs with slogans like "Democracy, not monarchy," and "The Constitution is not optional." Ahead of the demonstrations, Trump allies accused the protesters of being linked with the far-left Antifa movement and condemned what they called the Hate America rally. Organizers and protesters out on Saturday said the events were peaceful. Non-violence is a core principle of No Kings events, the group states on its website, which urges all participants to de-escalate potential altercations. In New York, sections of the crowd regularly erupted into chants of "This is what democracy looks like," as a near-constant drumbeat boomed in the background alongside cowbells and noisemakers. Helicopters and drones could be seen flying overhead, and police stood on the sidelines. The NYPD said more than 100,000 people had gathered to peacefully protest across all 5 of the city's boroughs, and that no protest-related arrests were made. In Times Square, a police officer standing by estimated that over 20,000 were marching down 7th Avenue. Beth Zasloff, a freelance writer and editor, said she had joined the New York protest because she feels outraged and distressed at what she called a move toward fascism and an authoritarian government happening in the Trump administration. "I care a lot about New York City," Mrs. Zasloff said. "It gives me hope to be out here with many, many other people." Since returning to the White House, Trump has embraced an expansive view of presidential power, using executive orders to block funding approved by Congress and dismantle parts of the federal government, to introduce sweeping tariffs on other countries, and to deploy National Guard troops to cities despite objections by state governors. The president says his actions are necessary to rebuild a country in crisis, and he has dismissed claims he's a dictator or fascist as hysterical. But critics warn some of the moves by the administration are unconstitutional and a threat to American democracy. Massimo Mascoli, a 68-year-old retired electronic engineer and resident of New Jersey who grew up in Italy, said he was protesting because he is concerned the US is following the same path that his home country did in the last century. "I am the nephew of an Italian hero that deserted the Mussolini army and joined the resistance," Mr. Mascoli said. "He was tortured and killed by the fascists, and after 80 years, I didn't expect to find